We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, phi thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo ngã mùng, như á liêu sanh thoát tư vi khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Dhammo sadanto suchedo ye elahudi san miao san puto sie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tu Già Đà Già A La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Gu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qu yuan jie ru lai zhen shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư và Thượng Tịnh Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 19th of July 2024. We're here in Way Mountain to my Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on slide 909. Thank you for joining us. Let's jump right into it. Now as to those first two doctrines, because they are not the same in whether there are five natures or one, that makes there be the three vehicles or one, and provisional or actual.
且出二义者，由性有五一不同，故令圣有三一全实。
Okay, so Master Qingliang is discussing how the Indian Buddha Dharma was transmitted. They were done primarily through two schools, Dharma Nature and Dharma Marx school. And so he discussed them previously, and now he says, if you're interested in combining the two teachings, then you should understand the differences between them. And so he he mentioned 10 different kind of attributes that are different. Therefore, he's going to go through the differences in more details right now. Okay, so the first two doctrines. The first doctrine is about whether is one vehicle or three vehicles. Second difference in doctrines, whether it's five natures or one nature. Okay, so he's going through them. Again, our interest is not necessarily a complete understanding of the Indian philosophy of Buddhism, but more of, my interest is more of getting to understand the terminology and Master Ching Liang's point in bringing up and writing this prologue, which is an overview of the Avatamsaka Sutra. So it's a very nice thing to look into. Okay, 9:10. As to those first two doctrines, which sometimes they're in the same, on whether they're five nature or one nature, the Dharma Mark school pays attention to the five natures, whereas Dharma Mark school is a school that Master Xuan Zhang ended up learning, okay, from the Indians to bring back Mahayana, Indian Mahayana to China. And it's funny, at the time, he did not even have a chance to learn into the Dharma nature school. But what Master Xuan Zhang brought back is that he says because they propagate the five natures, advocated the five natures of living beings. And we go into the five natures again later. Don't worry, just don't worry about trying to understand everything. Just listen, okay? So he praised Master Guiji, which is a national Master Guiji. He was a teacher of some Chinese emperors, actually a few Chinese emperors, so he's very, very famous. And at the time, I believe, Master Guiji was a seventh ground Bodhisattva, so it's at the borderline there between the Bodhisattvas and the Mahasattvas. So he's just right there, not quite good enough to be a Mahasattva, but you cannot classify him to be a regular Bodhisattva either. Okay, and so Master Guiji is highly revered, maybe because of his position as a national teacher. Okay, so he says, if it were not for you, the five natures would never have been circulated. And so he says that because of Master Guiji's eloquence and his wisdom, that's why he's able to expound on the five natures concepts of the Dharma Mark school. Because Guiji, National Master Guiji, also received influence from Master Xuan Zhang, who brought Mahayana, Indian Mahayana back. And that's why thanks to great Master Guiji, the five natures concept spread far and wide, and whether because of that difference in there is five natures of the one, which makes there be three vehicles of one and provisional actual. Okay, we'll go into that next. 9:12. As in a doctrine of the Dharma Mark school, which takes the one vehicle as provisional and the three vehicles as actual.
如法相宗义，以一圣为权，三圣为实。
Okay. 9:13. In the Dharma Mark school, we're learning that it takes the one vehicle as provisional teaching and the three vehicles are actual teaching. It should surprise you a little bit. Okay, how can the one vehicle, which is the Buddha vehicle, be provisional, and whereas the three vehicles, which is Arhat vehicle, sound Arhat vehicle, Pratyeka Buddha vehicle, and Bodhisattva vehicle is actual teaching. Okay, so you see, you're learning about the jargons and the perspectives of these great teachers. Okay, I'm still baffled as to why they still want to, Master Ching Liang would go into trying to merge them. To me, there's no need for that. Okay, 9:14. Therefore, within the deep secret teachings of the three periods, In the first, none became accomplished. In the next, there is comprehensive accomplishment. Those were either excessive or deficient, and neither was the ultimate doctrine.
故深密30教中，初阶不成，次一向成，是为若过若不及，皆非了义。
Okay. Commentary slide 915. Because what were discussed before, therefore, within the deep secrets, teachings of the 3 periods, in very first teaching period, it is said none became accomplished. Basically, in the first period, it said that because living beings lack the Buddha nature, therefore they have no accomplishment. The next teaching period, something else was said. There is a comprehensive accomplishment on the part of all living beings equally, that they have already become Buddhas or will quickly do so or being on the way. Okay, so this is the basis of their thesis, where they said, first, the 1 vehicle is provisional and 3 vehicles are actual. Provisional because the teaching there is lacking, they claim a lacking Buddha nature, whereas the next 3 periods, they said they will become Buddhas quickly because they have the Buddha nature. Okay? And because of that, these teachings were either excessive or deficient. Okay? Why is it so? First of all, in the first period, to say the living beings have no Buddha nature, cannot become Buddhas, that is not going far enough. So therefore, it's deficient. The teaching is not far enough. Whereas in the second period, there's comprehensive enlightenment of all living beings because they have the Buddha nature, and so there there's according to Master Ching Liang, this doesn't make sense to him because the contradictory. One says you are not good enough, and one person says you are actually pretty good. So it's confusing. Neither was the ultimate doctrine. It's not the doctrine of the middle way. Okay, so this is a problem when people are not capable of understanding. We need to break it down to bite-sized morsels for them. But ultimately, there's a middle way where you need to have a more comprehensive understanding of wisdom, of Buddhism, of Buddha Dharma in general. 917. In the third period, those with the nature have accomplishment, and those without the nature do not have accomplishment. By then, the ultimate meaning.
第30中，有信者成，无信不成，方为了义。
Okay, so Master Ching Liang continues. It says in the third period of the teaching, he says that the Buddha, the living beings of the Buddha nature, can accomplish Buddhahood, and those without Buddha nature cannot accomplish Buddhahood, and therefore that is the ultimate meaning of the middle way. Okay, it's more complete. 919, consequently, it is called that which universally affects bringing forth, tending towards all vehicles. Moreover, the first 2 roles both say the 1 vehicle was spoken with secret intent and therefore is provisional.
故云普为发去一切圣者，又初2卷中皆云一圣是密意说，故知是全。
Okay, 920. And therefore, Master Ching Liang continues, the third period of the teaching, of the Buddha's teaching, is called a teaching which universally affects bringing forth the Bodhi mind and tending towards all Buddha vehicles. Okay? And so the Master Ching Liang says the third period is actually a more comprehensive view of Buddha Dharma that's reserved for people who have greater potentials, who can understand a lot more. Okay. Moreover, the first, now he explains about why it's called provisional. The Buddha vehicle is actually provisional because it basically says it's provisional because the Buddha, when he spoke, the one vehicle has a secret intent. Okay, therefore it's provisional. 921. It is furthermore because the Srimala Devi Sutra takes the one vehicle as expedient.
又圣曼经以一圣为方便故。
Okay, 922. Again, this is rather scholarly. He says you can see how erudite Master Ching Liang was. He's so well read, and he's well read. He understood with great depth the Buddha Dharma, and that's why he says he quoted now. It is in this sutra, Srimala Devi Sutra. And it actually spells out that the one vehicle is an expedient Dharma from the Buddha. So that's the proof. That is references. 923. In row 593 of the Great Prajna Sutra, Wholesome Courage Buddha says, I only hope the World-Honored One will have pity upon us and fully proclaim for us the thus come one states and wisdom.
大般若593中，善勇猛菩萨言：唯愿世尊哀悯我等，为具宣说如来净智。
924. So that's why he quoted again in the Prajna teaching. There's another Buddha by the name of Wholesome Courage Buddha. On behalf of the all living beings, he asked the World-Honored One, asked the Shakyamuni Buddha, he says, will you have pity upon us and living beings and proclaim for us the Dharma doors of the thus come one states and wisdom? Will you tell us more about the Buddha's states and the Buddha's wisdom? 925. If there are sentient beings whose natures are fixed upon the sound hearer vehicle, when they hear this Dharma, they will quickly be able to certify to their own ground of non-outflow.
若有情类，于声闻圣性决定者，闻此法已，速能证得自无漏地。
926 commentary slide. Okay, he says, he's confirmed. This is the confirmation. He says, there are living beings who are fixated upon accomplishing the sound hearer vehicle. Okay, the ahats. And when they hear this Dharma that I asked you to talk about, the Buddha's common states and wisdom, okay, they will quickly certify to their own ground of non-outflow. And this is Buddhist wisdom. Yes, in the back.
Master, this is just a minor correction. In slide 923 is the Bodhisattva, which the name Wholesome Courage is not the Buddha.
Oh. Yeah, right. Okay, we should make the correction, please. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so I'm back to 926. So, first of all, their own ground or non-outflow. What is he talking about? The ground is the. This is a Buddhist concept. The ground is a Buddhist concept. It's actually pretty fundamental. When you accomplish, have some attainments of wisdom, let's say, or whatever accomplishments you can achieve in your cultivation. Okay, in particular, of interest here is for us Buddhists is about the grounds of the sages. But actually below it, along the way, you actually have access to various grounds. Okay, grounds refers to a place where you can have access to, whether it's an airport lounge because of your membership to those fancy credit cards, okay, or very special memberships, okay. Grounds here refers to its privilege, if you will. An accomplishment is actually manifests itself as privilege. You are able to have access to all the privileges extended to such people. Okay, so for the fixed nature sound hearers, what they aspire to, they want to reach the top of the teachings. And this is very important for you to understand. These are superior people. They have aspirations. Okay? And they aspire to do something significant, something important. Okay? And what they are is their ground of non-outflow, which is Buddhist wisdom. Okay? Buddhist wisdom is a wisdom of non-outflow. What is non-outflow? These are very important Buddhist concepts. Anyone? What's non-outflow? Ordinary people don't understand this critical concept of existence. This is why they are miserable. That's why they suffer. Go forth.
Afflictions?
Excuse me?
No afflictions.
Okay. Outflow is another word for affliction. Affliction is you agitated inside, yeah? It's the same concept, but actually they describe different processes. Affliction refers to what goes on inside of you. You're afflicted because you are mad at someone, you're disappointed, you are greedy, okay, and so forth. All those afflictions happens internally. Okay. Outflow is the process, what happens to you. That is, when you have this turmoil inside, okay, that's when the outflow occurs. Okay, so very much like the outflow is like you agitate yourself, and therefore it splashes out. Okay, or whatever is important to you, okay, it flows out. And so therefore the concept outflow is that it's a loss. Agitation is just a state, okay, a state of what's affliction? It's a state of agitation of the mind. Okay? Your mind is agitated. That's you're afflicted because your mind is agitated. It's being moved. And people of the world, nothing they can do. when they're afflicted, they are confused. They have no means of dealing with their own afflictions except that they substitute one affliction for another. So what they don't realize for ordinary people is that when they're afflicted, they do something else, okay, which only creates more afflictions for them. Actually aggravates the afflictions. The current affliction is still there, but now it's being in the background, and something else on the foreground. You see that? And that's what it's called. What is that called? Accumulation. Isn't it beautiful? The Four Noble Truths. First truth is suffering, is affliction. And in order to cope with the affliction, ordinary people, what do? They add something. Let's say they're upset, so they have a drink. They're tired, they have a glass of wine. So this is affliction, they're tired, have a glass of wine. Okay? Now the affliction is still there, but now they have another affliction on top, which is induced by alcohol. So therefore it's called accumulation. Isn't it amazing? Life, our sufferings, people's sufferings accumulate. No? Isn't that amazing? And ordinary people live like that. One affliction, more affliction, more affliction, more affliction. So you have this layers upon layers upon layers of affliction. Day after day, a lifetime after lifetime. After a while, we are so confused, we forgot, we lost track. It happens to the smartest people in the world. The most powerful people in the world, they're all afflicted. And they are our role models. Oh, she's so successful. I want to be like her. Okay? And that's what's so sad about existence, life in general. People get more and more afflicted. Okay? And so internally, okay, you are agitated. Okay? Because you're agitated, you have an outflow. Outflow refers to a loss. It's not a gain. A loss of what? Huh? Loss of chi, yes. A loss of energy, yes. A lot of your strength, yeah. What else? It's a loss. Yes, 8.
Master, is it also a loss of focus?
A loss of clarity of mind. You become more confused, and therefore you add one more layer and more layer, more layer. How can we tell ordinary people they're so screwed up? It's insulting to them. So these sound hearers, yes, 8.
Master, you said affliction is outflow, but is there any thought that is not outflow?
No.
All the thoughts are outflow.
All the thoughts of ordinary people are outflows. When you become enlightened, the thoughts are not outflows. Okay, good question. And so, what is the own ground of non-outflow? How does it happen? Okay, for the sound hearers, when they realize they have an affliction, okay, what it's saying here is that they develop the ability to get to a ground, to a place, a plane of existence, a state of mind, if you will. Okay, a state of being where there's no outflow. And this is so important. This is revolutionary if you think about it. Because ordinary people don't know the non-Buddhist wisdom. They don't understand non-outflow because they have not accomplished non-outflow. That's why they can't talk about it. They can talk about reducing outflows, reducing the agitation, but they cannot make all the agitations go away. That's what's required for non-outflow. As long as you have a little agitation, you're going to have outflows. Yes, in the back. 2.
I have a question. So the non-outflow, state of non-outflow, is this possible for only arhat or higher?
That's correct. So you cannot talk about non-outflow until you reach 4th stage arhats or higher, 4A, in short. Okay? Again, below that, you can only limit your outflows, okay? But you don't know how to stop your outflows. Go first.
Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Is that only in samadhi, or can that be in samadhi or outside of samadhi?
It's a state of mind. The state of mind is not agitated, meaning it has to be a state of samadhi that is completely free of agitation. Agitation refers to thoughts. You have a thought, it's agitation. You think, it goes up and it dies, up and die, up and die. That's agitation. When you go into the 4A samadhi, then no agitation. That's very important. You have to be able to have that ability to enter that samadhi in order to stop the agitation. So all the Chan training, all the Buddhist training is geared towards you, paving the way for you to go there eventually. Because you need to be there to understand the importance, how important it is for you. That's freedom. That is happiness, true happiness. Below that, the happiness, the joy you experience is actually suffering. And there's nothing you can do about it except substituting another suffering, another. That's all you can do. That's why you need to develop more compassion, because people have no choices. And by all means, I forbid you to feel superior. There's no room for you to feel superior. You should feel compassion, not superior. Don't be fooled yourself. You're nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. No reason for you to feel superior. I'm annoyed by that. I'm annoyed by my master's disciples feeling superior. There's no room for Buddhist wisdom to feel superior. You're only allowed to feel compassion, but not better than anyone else. Is that clear? Okay? And so what happened to the sound hearers, another point that's interesting here, is that they're fixated upon reaching there. Okay? So you have to see, that why, you understand why ordinary people can't make it? Because they don't even know about this non-outflow state or non-agitation state. They accept, because that's all they know. For entire lives, they accept the fact they're agitated. Actually, when they encounter people who are calm and peaceful, they feel threatened. You're not normal, they say. Don't do that, you scare me, you're not normal. Are you a ghost? Are you, what's the matter with you? And so therefore, you have to be sensitive about that and not afflict them, not scare them. Yes? Oh. Sorry. Okay, and certify to the attainment. Okay, another concept here. Certify to, meaning there's someone who certifies you. You cannot certify yourself in Mahayana. Because it happens too often. The non-Buddhists, they certify themselves. Okay, and you said, but I was certified by my master. And then you ask, how did your master become certified? He said, oh, someone certified him. Okay, go back. How did that person get certified? Eventually you run to a guy who says, I certified myself. We are certified. Okay? But it doesn't work like that in Buddhism. When you certify in Buddhism, it's usually someone who has been certified himself or herself. Because it's confirmation for them that now they can certify others, number one, if they're able to recognize it. And number two, is that they can begin to take advantage of the membership of that club. When you've been certified now, you can take advantage of it. You can develop your skills. Not have to worry about, it's not for me. Yeah. Okay, and finally the point here on slide 926 is that fixated, okay? Not just fixed, but to me I use the word fixated because it takes you to have the ambition, to have the determination in order for you to make it. Okay? And finally, this is a drawback. It's like they set their sights too low. Because that's all they can afford. It's like someone who's so poor, they said, I wish I could have a burger. And that's all, I'd be so happy. And then after they have a burger, they said, I wish I could have a meal every day. Okay, so they set their life size so low because that's all they can afford, unfortunately. Okay, they don't have the blessings, that's the difference, to hear of something bigger, more meaningful, more important, more fun, if you will, more worthwhile, and believe what they hear. Because for most people, they hear of it and they toss it away. They say, yeah, it's good for you. But then they ignore it. Okay, it takes a lot of blessings for you to be able to absorb the words of wisdom. All right, next, 927. Those whose natures are fixed upon the vehicle of those solitarily enlightened, upon hearing this Dharma, will quickly, relying upon their own vehicle, attain escape.
于独觉诚信决定者，闻此法已，素依自成而得出离。
Okay, just a small detail, because we want to be as consistent as possible. Okay, the vehicle here is actually caps, because this refers to the fact that these vehicles are special teachings where you are building this powerful vehicle that you can carry a lot of people to safety, to happiness, to true happiness, if you will. Okay, so it's not a regular vehicle, but it's actually a very important vehicle. Okay, don't you ever dare belittle the Arhat vehicle, Pratyeka vehicle. You can't. The Buddha can't. And I sometimes yell at them because I said, you are so small, but you should not imitate us, okay? Because Buddhism, we don't belittle others, okay? Only Buddhas have enough wisdom to be able to do that, okay? Meaning that you don't yell at others. If they're wrong, you don't yell at them, okay? You're not qualified to yell at people. You don't have enough wisdom to yell at people. So what do? When people do it wrong, you tell them gently, you say, this is wrong. You should not do that, okay? And then if they insist on doing it, okay? And then you wait for them to be done, you fix it. You don't yell at them. That's how you develop your wisdom. It's their problem, not yours. If you yell at them, you make their problems yours. That's a mistake. Okay? Okay, next, 928. There's some whose natures are fixated upon the Pratyeka Buddha vehicle. Okay? And upon hearing this Dharma of the Buddha states and wisdom, okay, again, they listen to the Dharma of the Buddha states and the Buddha's wisdom. And because of their blessings, they will quickly, even they hear this Mahayana Dharma of Buddha's wisdom and states, when they hear of it, they will quickly, all their cultivation of their vehicles matured and attain escape from the three realms. Okay, and so that's why it happens again because of their Mahayana blessings. You need to have blessings for you not to be alienated, not to reject. It's nothing we can do. So you want to help your spouses who says, how come I can go to the church or to the temple and my wife refuses? Okay? And she makes fun of me. It's because they don't have blessings. It's nothing we can do. So instead of complaining and fighting with them, we say, you're wrong. You shouldn't be making fun of us. You're so bipolar. Give him blessings. That's all. When you hear this, you see that there are two sides of everything. These people are able to do it because fundamentally they have the blessings and they matured. The people who hear of it, whether it's other people or your own family members, they don't buy into it. It's because they don't have blessings. Nothing we can do. Buddhas can't help them. Bodhisattvas can't help them. So stop beating up on them. You say it once, and that's it. And you give blessings, or you give them your blessings. Don't blame them. Okay? And we escape. Escape suffering. 3 realms are suffering. Don't be too attached. You're here, you live out your life, okay? But don't be attached to this life so much. Use it to escape. (929). Those whose natures are fixed upon the unsurpassed vehicle, upon hearing this Dharma, will quickly certify to unsurpassed, proper, and equal Bodhi.
于无上圣性决定者，于闻此法已，速证无上正等菩提。
(930). There's some who are pretty special, and we very impressed by such people. Impressed by the fact that they want to realize the unsurpassed bodhisattva vehicle. Right now, they're ugly. They are so unbearable. Okay? But what makes them special is that they want to, not just talk. They really want to. So you feel you're that special, you ask yourself, do I really want to? When you want to, what does it mean to want to? Meaning you actually are doing something about it, not just talk. Okay? And this is what we are all trying to do. We're all trying to reach this unsurpassed bodhisattva vehicle. Okay? Upon hearing the Dharma of the Buddha's states of wisdom, we're quickly certified to unsurpassed, proper, and equal proper and equal enlightenment. Okay, there's no need for right. Okay, and so we'll be certifying to the Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's enlightenment. And these are really, really special individuals. And the seat starts with you. You are all here because you are hopefully most of you are fixated upon having fun. Okay, this Buddha vehicle, this Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, unsurpassed, proper, and equal enlightenment. Forget about proper. You have a double proper here. Okay, right here. Cut it out. This is one of the most wonderful things you can give yourself. And I can't stress enough the importance of maybe you don't even know what it is. So that's what's gear fixated upon, meaning that you only need to believe that it's the most wonderful things that could happen to you, okay? Maybe your loved ones. That's a wonderful, wonderful gift. All right? Questions? And it doesn't matter if we're not asking people to believe. All we're doing here, all we're trying to do here is what Master Shua talked about, is propagating a Dharma, meaning that make it available, okay? And eventually they hear of this something called wonderful, called Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. And one day they wake up and say, well, you know, I'm tired of all this. This is on and on and on. There's no end to this. And this Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, something called surpassed, proper and equal enlightenment, is a state of wisdom that is truly unsurpassed, truly wonderful. The wonderful of the most wonderful. Okay? 931. Although there may be beings who have not yet entered a nature proper for living production, and whose natures are not fixed upon any of the three vehicles,
若有禽类虽未已入正性离身，而于三圣性不定者。
Okay, 932. There's some, Master Jing Liang says, there's some who are not fixated, do not believe in ending birth and death at all. They say, I am happy. I'm not suffering at all. Know anyone like that? Look around you. A lot of people, yeah. Yeah. Okay. And who they don't believe in the sound hearers, vehicles of sound hearers, enlightened condition, and bodhisattvas. And it continues, 933. Upon hearing this Dharma, they will all bring forth a mind for unsurpassed, proper, and equal enlightenment.
闻此法已，皆发无上正等觉心。
934. He says, when you hear, even though they haven't made up their mind yet, but when they heard about the state of the Buddha's states, and the Buddha's wisdom, and how wonderful it is, you know, the Buddha's states is something that is incredible. You know, it's so wonderful, and the wisdom is so great for the world. Yes. 2.
Master, unsurpassed proper and equal proper enlightenment, is this only for Buddha? Or like is it Mahatma? It's just only Buddha, right? This one?
Only Buddha is unsurpassed. There's nothing higher. Yes, K YouTube.
김혜순 선생님, 질문입니다. 저희 가족들과 주변 사람들, 제가 사랑하는 이들에게 복을 주는 구체적인 방법은 무엇인가요?
Master, how can I give the blessing to my family?
Can you what to your family?
How can I give the blessing?
And you give a blessing to your family. I don't know how to give blessings to your family. What do you think? I don't know. We do transferences. We do. We talk like this because we want to include everyone. It's about people. It's just that the people who don't understand Mahayana, they fail to understand the foundations, fundamentals of success, fundamentals of happiness, fundamentals of ending your suffering. Okay, it's about the foundation. All that is you start with blessings. Okay, so that's why he said, give them blessings, because they don't know better. We have to give them blessings. This is why after we cultivate, at the end of the day, we say, I want for this day's cultivation, I want to give it to all living beings. May them become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the future. That's what we do. We give it to them. Okay, so that's for everyone. Her question, what I'm hearing her question is, how do I help them more than just that? Okay? Then you can continue what you've been doing. You've been doing it already. That's why they are not totally against her being a Buddhist nun. They're externalists, from what I heard. Am I correct? They follow really not an orthodox Buddhist group. They follow kind of off-color Buddhist approach. XF? Is it XF or someone else? The what? JMT? Oh, in her case, it's hopeless. Never mind. It's too much work. Forget it. It ain't going to happen. For such extreme cases, especially what do I call extreme cases? Extreme cases is when they have deviant beliefs, or very often they're successful, okay? Like they're rich, or they're educated, especially well-educated people, or they're successful, okay? They have some sort of worldly success, and they look at us as losers, and they're right, we're losers, that's why we are beggars, okay? So for such extreme cases, the only real things I would focus on, okay, is rebirth blessings. Forget about everything else. It takes too long. You know, if you go the regular route, you give them blessings and they give it to heaven and go down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It takes forever. Okay? And there's no guarantee. Whereas when you give them rebirth blessings, go to Western Bliss Pure Land, that's it. They're set for life. All right, you have to think of a big picture. You can't, But we don't talk about it to regular people because they don't believe in it. Okay, it's not a whole lot we can do. For those people who in her case of the short teacher, not the short teacher, right? Okay, that one there, I would focus primarily on rebirth blessings. Okay, the more the better. Bigger and bigger and more and more and more. And because it serves two purposes. Number one, they need to go to the Pure Land. Number two, they need to go to the higher grade possible. All right? Back to slide 934. And so in cultivating the way, second half of the slide here, this is part of the instruction from Master YongHua at the time to his disciples. Let's go through them. He says, you cultivate the way. Okay, you study Buddha Dharma. Okay, he says, it's so imperative that you don't simply listen, because that's what a lot of people like to do. Buddhist teaching is so interesting intellectually. It's so beautiful, okay, so logical, so wonderful. You know, when a lot of people in the world, they read Buddhist teachings, especially Buddhist sutras, they feel good about it, okay, because Buddhist sutras are so powerful. Okay, or even when we help them talk about Buddhist concepts that specifically addresses their needs. It's your role. Buddha's role is speak sutras. Our role is to speak Dharma for them. So eventually you have to learn how to do that. Okay, they feel very good about it. Okay, and so they like it a lot. But what most people fail to do is that they don't apply them to the daily lives. This is where most Buddhist teachers fall short. Okay, because in particular, many teachers I've been exposed to, because on my search for a good knowing advisor, I met a lot of different teachers from different persuasions, different branches, different sects, and read so many books. And the one thing that's common and to those teachers is that they sell their knowledge. They impress you with their knowledge. They don't emphasize enough about how you should apply the knowledge to your daily lives. And that's the only person I found is Master YongHua. Amazingly. You know, Taiwanese teachers, Chinese teachers, American teachers, enlightened, not-Buddhist teachers, okay? They fall short of that. They don't know. They don't know, they fail to remind their students it's so important to apply what you hear into your daily life. So Buddhism is not concepts. Buddhism is a way of life. If you do that, then you get a lot more out of the little things that you hear. Okay? If not, you can hear and listen a lot. You won't get a lot out of it because you end up being an arrogant. The more you know, the more arrogant you become. Okay? And when I first got started teaching, I ran into a lot of such people. Nowadays, I don't know what happened to them. They all disappeared. No one ever come to challenge me anymore, because maybe if I have this reputation, I would say, what a stupid question. Do you know what fourth dhyana is? You asking me about 6 crown bodhisattva. You know even fourth dhyana. I don't know how to explain to you something. How can I explain mathematics to an infant? Maybe you have that reputation, that's why no one comes and challenges me anymore. It's so sad. My life has become so boring. Even my own master's disciples would come listen for half an hour and they don't even dare ask me questions. 9:35. The way to practice first to clean up your emotional attachment, you can give up, can see through, they're inseparable from. You see through what you can see through, put down what you can't. It's so, Master YongHua. See through what you cannot see through, put down what you cannot. Okay? Why are they so verbose, the Chinese? See through and put it down. Okay? Just drop it. Because they're so poetic. They talk about, kan che, kan po, those Chinese concepts. For us, just drop it. If you know it's no good for you, you believe it's no good for you, just throw it out. That's all. So the point for us, in order to help them, is to help them convince that it's no good for them. If they insist on it, they insist on depending on you, they insist on gaining, going for small gains, there's no whole lot you can do. Okay? And then Master YongHua says, this is very, very Chinese. That's how the Chinese talk to each other, I guess. And Master YongHua makes fun of small arhats, small vehicles, and they only pay attention to themselves. Okay? It's because this is key to Mahayana wisdom. Okay? Yes, you first need to learn to take care of yourself, meaning put an end to your outflows. Before you can be taught, you can learn how to help others. Okay? Don't be a fool like the Asians and ordinary people. Try to help others, but they cannot help themselves. Again, helping yourself is to be able to stop your outflow. There's only one help. Can you stop your own outflows? You cannot stop your afflictions. When you're afflicted, can you stop your affliction cold turkey or not? That's a golden rule. Unless you're able to do that, then you cannot help yourself. Therefore, you're a victim of life. There's not much you can do except suffer and spread your suffering to others. It's brutal, but that's the truth. You can look, our parents can hardly help us. Remember how confused our parents are or were? Both my parents had died already, so are dead. Okay? But they're confused like hell. And they spread the confusion to my generation. Okay? Yeah. So you have to end your suffering first. Okay? And before, next then, you have to understand, in order for you to even have a better life, you have to learn how to help others. That's how you develop true happiness. And the Chinese explain it differently. He said, don't be like self-ending arhats. Just watch out for themselves. Pay no attention to anyone else. This is the Buddhist line from the Chinese Buddhists as well, the Indian Buddhists. And I explain it simply as this is speaking on a negative side. I prefer to talk to you about it's much more advantageous. Could be a lot more rewarding for you. Yes, 8. Because the fact is that life is so depressing enough already. Okay, I don't need you to tell me that I'm a small time, I'm a self-ending arhat and pratyeka Buddha. I only think of myself. I do, because I'm suffering so much, that's all I can think of. Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. I know it's towards the end of your lecture, but there's this question. It's from someone named Hua, H-U-A. I'm wondering, Master, is it safe to sit in full lotus with heart issues? Because I feel lots of pressure building up.
It depends. It's too complicated to explain to you. Usually, when you practice a full lotus there, you should be practicing under supervision. You think you can read a book and then practice full lotus and be able to make progress on your own is rather difficult. Okay, if you prefer to be anonymous and keep your privacy, yeah, by all means, go do it. Okay, and if you have a lot of issues, then that's a good test for you. You can persevere, then you will overcome those issues. If, however, for most of you, especially you bipolar people, that is so overwhelming. For example, when you cross your legs, the pain is so overwhelming. Okay, it will drive you crazy. Especially if you're bipolar, and because of your mental instability, you quit. And this is when you know that you need help. So the short answer is, of course, full lotus will help you overcome it, okay, under the right conditions, meaning that either you have enough blessings to proceed on your own, like my case, okay, or if you didn't have blessings, you need help, you need guidance. All right? Good luck to you. YouTube, K-YouTube.
익명자의 질문입니다. 마스터가 경은 다 좋다고 하셨는데 대방광 불화엄경 기도는 어떤 효험이 있습니까?
That every sutra is good. How about the prayer of Avatamsaka Sutra? What kind of benefit can you have?
What's the question again?
So Master mentioned that every sutra is very good. What about the prayer of Avatamsaka Sutra? What benefit can we have?
Which part of Avatamsaka Sutra would you like to pray? It's a huge sutra. Which one are you using? But in general, you touch any part of it, okay? The general benefits is that you have great prajna, wisdom seats, meaning that every time you touch, and like even tonight, when we talk about the prologue here, you're generating wonderful prajna seats of wisdom. Okay, they're indestructible. They're prajna because they're indestructible, meaning that the mere fact you're listening and participating and being here, and whether in the future people listen to the tapes or watch the Dharma glimpses or the shorts or whatever they call it nowadays for 1 second, 1 minute, okay, that's extracted from these lectures, they will have prajna seeds, meaning that in the future they will for sure become a Buddha, and they'll be they'll be stirred gradually in that direction. As compared to, for example, those who listen to Hinayana sutras, Nikaya sutras, and so forth, they will be having Hinayana seeds, and they'll be stirred into Hinayana pathways. Okay, YouTube.
네, 저희가 줌에서 하는 보현 행원품 독송을 언급하신 것 같다고 하십니다.
The prayer is about reciting the 40th chapter.
Chapter 40? Oh, that one there. The blessings, the more you recite them, the more the more blessing you have to practice the Bodhisattva path. And not just any Bodhisattva path, but is you practicing the most effective, the most powerful Bodhisattva path there is in Mahayana. And that's what guides us, by the way. We don't go small. We're not interested in doing small things. Okay. So the more you recite, the better off you are. And don't worry about the blessings finally. When you do those things, they'll be much better. The blessings are far greater if you don't think about them. Don't be greedy. You're able to participate and do it, then that means you have great blessings already. You're able to do with us, meaning you even have far better blessings than other Buddhists. And therefore, one next step for you is not to be greedy. Don't be so greedy for benefits. You got in already. In this environment, we do things because it's the right thing to do. We don't worry about, we don't 计较, we don't calculate anymore. Okay? You got inside this wonderful thing called American Mahayana already. Okay? That's this world here. That you're a member, you're taken advantage of. Now you can relax. Don't calculate so much. Okay? You don't realize how difficult it is to get in. Once you're in, you don't need to calculate anymore. Okay? Whatever is available, use it. And good things happen naturally. You don't have to. We don't have to keep track anymore. Okay? That's how you get far greater benefits. Anyone else? I have 3 more minutes. Okay? 536, next slide here. Master Shua continued. He says, again, this is Chinese reasoning. He says, you cultivate a way, don't look for trouble when there is no trouble. your self-nature originally pure. When you insist on trying up some unclean false thinking, a lot more trouble than anything else outside. Okay. Yes, logically it makes sense. Okay. But I can't connect with this, to be honest with you. I read this and I don't see how it applies to me. Because it talk about my self-nature originally pure. I said, do I have one? You keep on talking about it. I see only impurity. Okay? So I struggle with this. And there's a lot more trouble than anything coming outside. So you see, I cannot connect with this Chinese thinking. Okay? So to me, this kind of teaching here is so Asian, because if maybe the Confucian influence where you say, shame on you, you sin again, And to me, we're not children. I want you to see find a way to motivate yourself, instead of me telling how bad you are. Okay? How sinful you are. Okay? Repent, South Carolina. Okay? But the point is well taken. He says, doesn't matter how you do it, okay? The nature of your problems is attachments. And this is a positive message. You have so many attachments, and it shows. Okay? Because you grab on one after another. All we have to do is talk to you. We throw one thing at you, grab it. I like this. Can I have another? And pretty soon you run out of things you cannot catch anymore. That's what people do when I talk to them. Their head heats up because they're processing so much. They're grabbing and ripping that, and that's why people heat up. Okay? They don't understand that is because you have to learn to drop your attachments. It's not about gaining more. It's about letting go. When you are able to let go more and more, you become like a mirror. A mirror has nothing of its own. All it does is that it reflects your ugly image. How ugly you are. How sinful you are. Okay? And that's, what does it say? You can yell at someone because they're sinful, because they're wrong. You can't. Mirrors don't yell at people. People with wisdom do not yell at others. What do mirrors do? This is so beautiful. Reflects it. Reflects how ugly you are, that's all. They don't add anything. Okay? And so that's why it says, when something comes along, it reflects it. Oh, you are so afflicted today. What happened? Instead, what do people do? You don't like me, do you? What do I do? That's stupidity. What did I do to you? What do I do wrong? Okay? And so the mirror, it reflects it. Oh, you're so afflicted today. Oh, you're so nice today. Oh, you're so drunk today. And when you're gone, they become still. That's the nature of wisdom. You're not agitated by them coming along. They accuse you of, you don't like me, do you? You say, yeah. You like me, right? Yeah. You hate me? Yeah. Okay? When you're still, you can't be agitated. Huh? So after it's done, it's empty. Okay? All right? And that's wisdom. And okay, I think we ran out of time. We continue next time. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Oh, we do rebirth transference now.